The one thing about this artist is I cannot get enough of her voice. Never could, never shall, never will, even into the future. Even if she becomes an artist that just does guest appearances, I'll always support her. I know she was in Asia recently, and somebody said she was in China competing against one of the biggest shows in the world, against fellow artists. And I did watch some of it because I was in a different time, different place, too busy, and you mix that together. I couldn't watch all of it, so I don't know how she did, but I must follow it through. But I know they were so impressed with her voice. Now, back to today's guest. Who am I talking about? Come on, it's Faouzia, and she's here with Porcelain. Now, Porcelain was dropped in 2020 on her album, but I just want to say that a lot of artists are bringing forth music and ballads from previous albums right now, and they're doing extraordinarily well. And I'm wanting to review this for quite a while, so it's my pleasure to introduce a poignant song by this talented artist Faouzia, featured on her debut EP released way back in 2020. The song captures those emotional turmoil and vulnerability in relationships, showcasing Faouzia's vocal delivery, which you're going to hear, and lyrical depth, which I absolutely adore. There's so many songs that spring to mind, and you've only got to just think of one of them that you say, wow, I was so moved and affected by it. And I think a lot of people will relate to this. But do you know what's wonderful? And I'm going to say this. What's wonderful is we don't just get 2 minutes. It's almost 4 minutes of a song, which I think brings back nostalgia to me now, because everybody is hitting 2 minutes and that is it. But when you do a ballad, I've always said, give us a bit more, please, in a lot of my videos. And Faouzia has done this with this song. And that's why when I had seen it today, I said, I'm reacting straight away to this. It's nearly 4 minutes. We're getting 4 minutes of this gorgeous voice, beautiful artist, feet are on the ground. She adores her fans. And I have to say, her fans adore her. I have supported her. Can you believe now? I'm adding up 2 years before, 2 for 5 years plus. Wow. It feels like yesterday I was introduced by somebody who was a Dimash fan and said, check out Faouzia, and I did. Now, there is different ways of pronouncing her name. I know that. I'm from Ireland. I am partially deaf, but I do my best in pronouncing it in a way that's complimentary to her and her fans. So I do say again, if you're new to my channel and I pronounce certain words a different way, forgive me. But the song delves into those emotional pains of vulnerability, everybody, and it uses metaphors like porcelain. You see the doll to illustrate fragility and struggle for self-identity. And when I was watching it, and I have watched it, I'm not one of these people who say it's my first time watching it. Oh, no, I've watched this and I listened to it and I said, I have to react, which I'm doing. But it's about self-identity in the face of a damaging relationship. And I find Faouzia does that so well. I'm going to say this, whomever hurt Faouzia deeply left her scarred, because many songs bring that emotion up. And whether this is back in 2020, you know, when it featured on a debut EP, she's released it now at a time where a lot of people have been scarred for many different reasons in relationships. And a lot of relationships, believe it or not, crumbled under mental and physical pressure of COVID. Plain and simple. People who thought they were meant to be through thick and thin, thought they could make those marriage vows last forever, were disappointed because the mental overcame the physical well-being of them. And a relationship was the last thing they needed, because they needed to put all that spare energy into themselves. And it's sad, but it's true. It's poignant. It's a great song. Let's listen, come back for the breakdown of the lyrics as always.
Take your heart somewhere else. I don't want any of it anymore. Keep it all to yourself. hearts are bleeding from picking up pieces you made of me. I can't let you in, my delicate skin is far too thin. Porcelain and your blade is sharp, you take it too far. It's just who you are, cold cement, and you can't resist. With your iron fist you come crashing down till I'm found in pieces, and then you're filled with regret, but soon you'll forget, and I'm left a mess in your hands. I don't want sympathy, I just want anything that's left of me. Fair release my sanity. I'm on my knees looking through all this debris. It hurts me to say this, but it hurts me more to stay. Oh, my fingers are bleeding from picking up pieces you made of me. Oh, I can't let you in, my delicate skin is far too thin. Porcelain and your blade is sharp, you take it too far. It's just who you are, cold cement, and you can't resist. With your iron fist you come crashing down till I'm found in pieces, and then you're filled with regret, but soon you'll forget, and I'm left a mess in your hands. Again, 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 and again, and again. Again and again and again. Can't let you in, my delicate skin is far too thin. Porcelain and your blade is sharp, you take it too far. It's just who you are, cold cement, you can't resist. With your iron fist you come crashing down till I'm found in pieces, and then you're filled with regret, but soon you'll forget, and I'm left a mess in your hands.
Poor Faouzia, hey? Feeling like porcelain. But a lot of people are today. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of doom and gloom since COVID. There's a lot of politicians making fools of themselves. And the music industry has leaned, and I've noticed artists on songs that they've written before, they think are relevant now. And that is very relevant. And this artist always brings out the best in people. What she brings out in me is a fascination for her talent. It's never ending. It's always intriguing. And one thing I love about this artist is she continues to flourish. And whether we go back into a song from years ago and bring it forth, it feels so relevant. It is, because that is the term in music that you hear about, but you think, which musical songs do I know that are masterpieces? And that's exactly what this is. And I'll tell you for my breakdown of the lyrics, the reasons why. Verse 1, take your heart somewhere else. I don't want any of it anymore, she says. Keep it all to yourself. I don't want any more. It hurts me to say this, it says in the pre-chorus, but it hurts me more to say. And a quick thank you to Genius Lyrics for the lyrics as always. Great website. Looking for lyrics for songs? Check them out. My fingers are bleeding from picking up pieces you made of me. And then she goes into the chorus. I can't let you in. My delicate skin is far too thin. And I'm going to emphasize why I feel these words are so important. Porcelain. And your blade is sharp, you take it too far. It's just who you are, cold cement. And you can't resist with your iron fist. You come crashing down till I'm found in pieces. And then you're filled with regret, but soon you'll forget, and I'm left a mess in your hands. Now I'm going to say, first of all, that is a very profound chorus of words and lyrics. And before people start worrying, oh my God, has my idol Faouzia been hit and punched and kicked and beaten to the ground by somebody? No, I think she would have mentioned that. And I think in the past we would have had that brought up in another song or a situation live which she might have reflected on it. I haven't heard anything. If you have, you know to keep me noted on this channel. I'm a huge fan. But no, when it comes to fists, it's like somebody who talks with their hands. People say I always do this when I'm in company, and I express and I talk. And I've learned to keep my hands steady now. And they say it's uncharacteristic to look at me and see me with my hands down. But people also, when they get angry, talk at their fist, and they slam their fist down, they bang things, and they point in your face and right up to your face. I think that's what that chorus is about, just to say that. It's more to do with the physicality of somebody's actions rather than the physicality of being the receiving end of a blow, for example. So I just thought I'd point that out. We go into, and it's taken me just 2 hours to analyze this and to put my thoughts together and be excited to do this. But as I said, the lyrics of Porcelain, it unfolds with Faouzia of emotional distress. It's obvious in the video. And I've done a thumbnail to reflect the different facial elements of her expressions during this video. I thought that was important to put in a thumbnail. I hope you appreciate it. And the fragility of the human spirit, I feel. There's metaphors. You know, you've got the doll on the settee, she's holding it. It's porcelain. And that kind of thing. And they serve as a central theme. Almost like this is, you know, this is real. This is me, the living, breathing. But this is how I feel, like this porcelain doll. If it dropped, it would break into 1,000 pieces, just like that chorus had talked about breaking into 1,000 pieces from somebody's actions. And in the opening line, she's introducing the idea of feeling shattered for many reasons. It's akin to broken porcelain, as we know, hence the title, and it sets a tone of vulnerability because porcelain is very fragile. And I feel those images, the facial images, you know, even when she was going down the stairs, this is how symbolic this video is. When she's going down the stairs and the light is coming through the door, that captivated me because most people would overlook that. That's like the exit door and the light leading her to a new path. And can she do it? And you see her lean against the wall and she slumps down. Because it sets a tone of the vulnerability again in many elements. And those images are for you who's listening to the song, maybe to relate and correlate with this, because maybe you've experienced similar things. You wanted to escape from a situation, but you just couldn't. You saw the light, but you just couldn't push yourself to go that step further to get away from what ailed you, the relationship, the words, the physicality of emotions and actions. It's about feeling fragile. That's all to do with feeling fragile and fragility, I feel. You go into as the song progresses, and let's go back into the lyrics and bring them up, because I have the video I have, which is going to be on my channel when I post it. The pre-chorus says lots of ums, because she's thinking, she's reflecting, she's trying to sort out in her fragile mind, what do I do? And you see that when she rocks back and forth, and even when she's playing the piano and she's singing the lyrics. What I love about Faouzia as an artist is she doesn't, some people tend to play the piano, sing the words, and there's a coldness and there's no relation to the surroundings and what the video is trying. She fits in, she ties it all in, she's playing it with drama and feeling and passion, and I love that in the video, by the way. I have to say, a lot of people will probably take a leaf out of her book now, because as she matures as an artist and realizes, no, I want me when I'm playing the piano to express that. She does that where others don't. So you go along with the video and you almost feel that anger inside her for being so in love and so hurt at the same time. And as she says, she doesn't want sympathy. I feel she just wants to let it out and the frustration out. And it's about keeping her sanity in a situation like this. I'm on my knees, she says, looking through all the debris. That's her broken heart, her mind, how she feels. Her mind's shattered, her heart's shattered as well. It's equilibrium between the two. It's like, oh my God. And then it says, it hurts me to say this more. Oh, my fingers are bleeding from picking up the pieces that you've made. Of course, it's a bleeding heart. The cries, the worry at night time, whatever ailed her at that time. But do you know what I feel as well when she talks about the skin and she touches herself? How many times do you realize that when you're in an upset situation, whatever it is, by the way, everybody, it ages you? And that sprung to mind in this video. God, it's so true, because you get up in the morning, I get up in the morning and I'm always like putting my moisturizers on. I'm like one of the modern guys. I did it years ago. Guys do it today, and I'm so proud that I can put my moisturizers on, feel better about myself, look in the mirror and go, okay, you still look the same, but still, you put your moisturizers on and you feel fresh. But she touches the skin as much as say, look how my emotions have aged me. Emotions do age you. If you're happy, it makes you young. If you're sad, it makes you feel, like black under the eyes. But like her, if you're fighting something so fragile, you almost feel like the wrinkles coming back, or you've aged, around the eyes, as I said, and the mouth, and the lips are dry. And, porcelain is famous for crumbling over a period of time if not taken care of. It's so delicate. So she reflects that, and she said, it is just who you are, cold cement. You can't resist with your iron fist. As I mentioned before, we've explained all that. I'm left in a mess at your hands. And then she says again and again and again and again, and that's the torture. That is her self-torturing herself. Do you remember when she was sitting on the couch and she was holding the doll? That was so poignant in that video. That's her rocking herself back and forth going, oh no, why did I let this happen? Oh, again and again and again and again. And then it goes into the chorus, which we need to remind ourselves. Oh, I can't let you in. My delicate skin is far too thin. It's just, and I'm skipping a few words and lines just to catch time here. It's just who you are, cold cement, and you can resist with your iron fist. You can crush them down, tell them in pieces, because that's the self-torture, remembering all of this. And then you're filled with regret. Yeah, the other person's filled with regret. And how many times has rows happened or upsets happened and they say, oh, I'm so sorry, I love you. Of course you do. And that's a lovely way to show love, and leave me like this, picking up the pieces. Hence why she goes out of the song looking down going, they say they're sorry. And there's a self-reflection at the end of this song, I feel. And that kind of thing goes on with all of us, because the chorus encapsulates that. Hurt, regret, it illustrates the scars. All of those things happen in this video. And in the final bit of the song, did you notice the tone shifted in how she was playing the piano? She became melancholic in her thought process. She became quiet. There was an evolution there of self-reflection, of why did I let this happen, but also a reflection of how the partner at the time left her in such pain. How could all of this happened? And she was battling too much. Whereas, if it happens, people walk away, or if it happens, people allow it and they move on, or there's always different scenarios. But she had the two battling on, where do I, like going down the steps, do I go towards the light or do I not? And she was overcome and she slumped on the wall. That was all to do with being overwhelmed with love versus anger. We've all been there. The concluding lines just remind you that the scars may remain, because you see Faouzia looking downwards. But it's how you rise above that what's left inside you, what strength is left. And I feel this song is very poignant for these reasons. Porcelain to me is a beautifully crafted, lyrically delivered, beautifully delivered song about emotional pain, vulnerability. It evokes the lyrics when you read them and you listen to them of haunting melodies of maybe what happened to you in the past, what could happen to you if you're in that situation and you allow it to progress. And it's about you, the listener, who've either experienced or are experiencing it, or maybe are stepping into something and not listening to the warning signs, your friends, your family, your gut instinct, to reflect about the love you're going into or the mental loss and physicality loss of what will happen if you do. It's a song about not ending up into 1,000 pieces and reflection. Thanks for listening. Take care.